preparing to live stream the meeting. If this is anything like Facebook Live, it will go live before it tells me that we're live. So in the middle of, somewhere in the middle of this sentence, we'll suddenly be live on YouTube. Good evening, everybody. Are we live? Can you see me? To live stream the meeting. If this is a... Oh, I've turned my sound off. Hello, hello. Yes, I think we're live. Good evening, everybody. I am in a very strange position tonight because we are streaming on a program called Zoom, which is good for conference calls, and streaming it to YouTube. So where you're seeing me on YouTube, there's about a 5-second delay. So right now I'm looking at myself 5 seconds in the past, and it's a very strange feeling. But we can see your comments, and this is the night on which we are announcing our competition winners. I'm also going to introduce you to some people you don't know yet. So you know that my membership is called Foundations Revealed. I see Bernadette in the comments. Hello, Bernadette. She's one of our team. We also have a few other people to introduce tonight. And I'm going to start by introducing you to Gemma Hewitt, who is our editor and general resident extrovert on the team, who is going to lead tonight's calls. So, Gemma,
I think high-functioning introvert's probably more accurate.
Well, that's the closest thing we've got to a resident extrovert, so it works for me.
Hello, everyone.
So
cool.
Go ahead. I'm going to leave it with you, Gemma.
All right. Okay. Well, also on our calls, we have our wonderful mentor team. So we have Barbara. Say hello.
Hello, everyone.
We have our other mentor, Loana. Say hi.
Hi.
And finally, all the way from Italy, we have the lovely Luca Castiglione, our third mentor.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
And finally, I shall introduce you to our wonderful guest judge for the competition. Someone who keeps us entertained on Tinternet constantly. I give you Karolina Zebrowska. Do I say
Hi.
or Zebrowska?
That was actually quite good. That was quite good. Somewhere in between.
Also known as your meme mom.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm sorry, but you know.
That's okay. I'm used to it.
So Karolina has taken the finalists whom have been shortlisted by the members of Foundations Revealed, who have all or kind of chosen who they want in the final, and she is going to reveal who first, second and third place are for each of our categories in a bit. But it would be dreadful to have Karolina here and not make the most of being able to chat to her. So I'm going to do that for a little bit and tease you all with the fact that you know, you're on the edge of your seats for the results. So Karolina, what got you into dress history?
That's a question I get a lot, and I don't think I know the answer, actually.
Did you dress up as a kid?
Yes. I was actually talking to my mom about it a couple of days ago, because we have this series of photographs of me like age 3 or something, and I'm like trying on every single piece of clothing that's available at the house, like trying on high heels, etc. So there was something about that always. And also I've always been drawn to like obviously everything that's old, everything that's in a way classical, like classical paintings, old furniture, antiques and stuff like that. So I think clothing is obviously a natural part of that, but maybe it's not that easily explored like at the first glance, because it's not like readily available to you when you enter an antique shop. It's not always there. So maybe that's why it took me a while to realize that of all these old and antique and beautiful things, I enjoy clothing the most, perhaps. And that I can also create it, which is a really nice feeling.
Oh, that's always satisfying. I mean, I know even creating an 18th century outfit out of toilet paper, which is your latest exciting exploration on the YouTube.
I quite enjoy the contrast of like modern stuff, modern facilities, modern things, and history, because we tend to imagine history and people in the past as very serious and like put together, whereas I like to, you know, shed some light on the fact that those were human beings, and obviously they laughed and they probably had memes of some types as well, that they were only funny to them at this time. So yeah, I'm trying to like sort of I don't know the word, but the
gap between
yeah,
the past and kind of current culture.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably why it obviously has kind of, people have responded to that. Even people who aren't that interested in kind of costume or history, they've obviously taken the meme and the hilarity of kind of that weird juxtaposition of kind of our modern culture and putting it in a completely different setting.
Yeah. I think it's a way to make people realize that history doesn't have to be boring, and you can actually relate to it. You can relate to the past.
Yeah, I did enjoy your typical Karen, but she's a fluff. How do you think these things up? Do they just like pop into your head, or are you like through the, you know, looking on YouTube yourself and something goes at you?
I have lots of ideas, and some of them are a bit more difficult to make, so I have to postpone them, but usually it just takes me to like just sitting down and thinking about stuff, or sometimes even it just pops in when I'm doing something and like, oh, 20s Karen, that might work. So yeah, and then, you know, my audience is so understanding that they're willing to watch even the strangest of my ideas. So yeah, well, so far I haven't upset them with anything too bad. So
it's very eclectic, and you're a very engaging filmmaker, as well as having an interesting angle on dress history.
Thank you.
Well. So, all right, we should probably crack on.
Should we move on?
Oh, so it was really difficult, wasn't it? Things were so awesome this year. Does everyone want
Yes. I think the theme worked really well. Like I think it made people be very like creative with their artistic choices, and really like I think it was included in every single entry in some way that was visible. So I was actually surprised, because usually themes are only a sort of an excuse to get something in there, but these were actually really thought through.
Well, the theme was renewal this year, for those who don't know. And we also asked everyone to put in to take upcycling, recycling, ecological aspects, maybe have a bit of a de-stash, maybe look into some natural dyeing, so kind of new ways of doing things as well, as part of that kind of renewal idea. But I think most people kind of really went both with the theme and with the things they were making from it. Yeah, really went wild, which was amazing. Here we go. These are all the entries. Kathy is scrolling down now. There are just so many amazing pieces in there. Anyone want to chip in while we're having a little look? We were just blown.
We're just admiring.
We were just going,
oh wow.
So beautiful. And I have to say, although obviously, you know, we have our finalists, which you are going to see close up tonight, do go and have a look at all the entries, because I believe the kind of the finalists with votes were pretty close, weren't they, Kathy? In some,
they were. They always are. It goes right up to the last moment.
Yeah.
And hang on, I'm doing two things at once now. It always goes right up to the last moment, and there are always people who are. We've had ties in the past, so it's exciting.
It is.
So we should explain that this is a competition that we have for anybody who is a member of Foundations Revealed, and in fact, you don't have to be a member to enter. We choose a theme just after the competition ends, and our members help vote for a theme. So about this time of year, after it's all over, we come up with a new theme, and then you've got the whole year to make something, and then you enter it. The deadline is usually the first Monday in February. And then we put all of the entries up on the site. Everybody, they all go public, everybody can look, everybody can comment, anybody and everybody can comment. So one of the best parts of it is it's just like an exhibition of fabulous work, and you just collect the comments, and it really empowers you and sort of validates you as a creator. It gives you a lot of, the idea is we're giving you confidence as a creator to put your stuff out into the world. But then the members vote, and they have voted for finalists, 3 finalists in each category. And then we have a guest judge, who this year is Karolina, to pick the winners. But do you want to explain just a little bit about the categories, Gemma?
Yeah. So this year and last year as well, we have split the entries into 5 categories. We've got beginners, we've got apprentices, we've got intermediates, we've got the experienced, and we've got the advanced. So they're all different skill levels. The beginners are people for whom this is like their first corset that they've ever made, perhaps. The apprentice has maybe made a couple of things before, and they're trying to hone their skills a bit more. The intermediates are exploring pattern cutting, doing really good fitting, interesting fabrics, and maybe different, more complicated designs. Our experienced entrants are people who are really honing their skills, and I think that was quite a big category this year, which again shows how much everyone's come on, which is awesome. And then we have our advanced, and the advanced people are people who they're either professionals, and it maybe they do just so for themselves and for fun, but they could be professional if they wanted to. They are that good. So that's very exciting. So we are going to start with kind of the beginners, and we're going to work our way up. As
We should
Karolina
mention what the prizes are too.
Oh yes, tell us about the prizes, Kathy. Tell us about the
Well, you can find the page so I get this right. So I get what the prizes are.
I feel like I could be one of those lovely game show girls.
In each of those 5 skill categories, we have the categories so that you don't have to be, a fabulous professional to win. You'd think usually if you entered a sewing competition, it's going to be the pro that's going to win it. So we split people up into categories so that even if you're a beginner, you've got a chance of winning something. So in each of those 5 categories, there's a first, second, and third place. The third place wins 3 months free subscription to Foundations Revealed, and you get a special like an icon, an award that you can put on your profile or on your website, whatever. Second place is 6 months free subscription and the award, and a $100 gift certificate to the online store of your choice. And then first place is a year's free subscription, a winner award, and $200 gift certificate for the online store of your choice. So in the past, that has been, people have got spent their gift certificate as like a fabric store or Spoonflower or one of the corset supply places or Amazon or anywhere they might want to spend that. Usually they spend it on supplies and fabrics, unsurprisingly.
Costumers spending money?
Yeah, on fabrics.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought it?
I know, right? We're so predictable.
Yeah.
We had like a few kind of, what do you call them? Not categories, things that we gave to Karolina to judge the different entrants on, and hopefully everyone who voted for the finalists also did. So we are, what are they called? I've forgotten the word. Criteria.
Sorry.
That's the word. Criteria. Yes, I know that word. I just lost it for a second. It came back. We're fine.
Words.
So yeah, so the criteria which Karolina will talk about a little bit more as she gives us her choices, were interpretation of the theme, the design, the overall design of the piece, pattern cutting, the fit on a live model, stitching quality, and then artistic merit. So there's quite a few different kind of ticks to fulfill there. And yeah, we have all the photographs which kind of pointed you in directions to look at specific details in each of the outfits, which is very cool. But the reason we have all those criteria is it's really easy to just kind of go, oh wow, that one's amazing, because it's very spectacular or it's in the colors that you like. And once you've got criteria and you can kind of look at things specifically, again, something might look amazing on a mannequin, but does it fit the body that it was created for really beautifully? Or it's really artistic, really creative, but is the stitching really beautiful? So there's lots of different things that we have been looking at them for. So shall we get started?
Yes. I'm excited. I don't even know who the winners are. So
Are you ready, Karolina?
I think I am. I mean,
okay. So let's go with the beginners first then.
Yes.
We'll
So
start with like there were only 2 entrants, weren't there?
Yes, and I asked you why, and you made a really good point, saying that because people are getting better, there isn't that much beginners anymore. So that makes absolute sense.
Hopefully, lots of people will be inspired to have a go and be beginners.
Yeah.
Amazing. So yeah. All right. So in second place, then.
Yes. So in second place we have Silver Switcheroo by Zoe Beatty, and I'm going to butcher each and every one of these names. I'm so sorry. But yeah, well. So all these criteria were actually really helpful in making the decision, because as you said, it's easy to just have a look at the pictures and, you know, go with the flow and sort of like judge it just by the visual aspect of it. But when you actually start to break it down and, you know, notice that some things are really outstanding, it makes the decision making much easier. So when it comes to Zoe's corset, it's basically a really good base corset that can work really nicely as an sort of undergarment, as a sort of a base for an outfit, or it could be worn outside. It's a really good, simple design. It doesn't give you a big reduction, but I don't think that's the point. It's probably just sort of like a base corset. And the interpretation of the renewal theme here is the fact that it's made of a curtain and it features industrial zip ties as boning. So I think that's very cool, because at first I actually thought it's silk. So it shows that you don't really need that new, fresh, expensive fabric to make something really creative and good looking. And then also there is the brooch. I'm not sure how to call it. The applique that's made of this bit there. Yeah, so that's also an element of a corset, and the point is to be able to attach it and then detach it, so it's not always there. Like, you can change the look of the corset in a matter of seconds. So I think that's a really good touch, because a lot of the corsets are sort of very much out there, so it's really difficult to make them work with every outfit you have, obviously. So this is I think a really cool sort of base corset, I would say. So yeah, that's in second place.
Yay, well, Zoe.
This was a tough decision as well. Like, all of them were pretty much on the same level when it comes to particular categories. So and then the first place is Spring is a Perhaps Hand, a very nicely titled piece of work by Liz McCord. And again, the fabric and the supplies were inherited, I think. And the fabric is modern, but it has this really nice 18th century feel to it. I think it's also really, it fits the model really nicely. It's a really nice 18th century conical silhouette. Yeah. Do you have anything to add, Gemma?
Oh, I just think it's so pretty. And I love the poem. I love that interpretation
Yes.
of the coming of spring as kind of with the poem. It's a beautiful poem. And it had so much kind of emotion in the piece, which is always
I'm really surprised with how well the fabric works, because it's not your typical Stace fabric. It's
but the talking of like placing a flower and things, it just it's all tied together really cleverly for me, I think.
Yeah.
Really wonderful work. So well done, Liz. Congratulations.
Liz is our winner. Well done, Liz. Well done, Liz McCall. And she is in Calgary, I think. Yes, in Calgary, in Canada. So we have a winner from Canada.
Awesome. All right, we shall move on to the apprentice category. So the apprentices are people who have maybe made like 1 or 2 corsets before, but they're still pretty new.
Or outfits in general.
Yeah, or outfits. Yes.
Generally, over the last few years, we've had a lot of corset makers at Foundations, and we've concentrated more on corsets, but it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be. So we tend to get a lot of corsets in the competition, but that isn't all we do or all we ever have.
No, absolutely. Yeah. We've got quite a few fabulous outfits and costumes as well, which I should say. So our apprentices, Karolina.
Yes, so third place, we have Arcadian Shepherdess by Catherine Sutton. It's again, as you said, it's a whole outfit. So it's not only the stays, but it's a whole 18th century style outfit in a very Marie Antoinette pastel style. I love the photo shoot, which features a really nice hairstyle and a stylized makeup. It all really like plays off with this whole sugary candy 18th century style. I think it's a really nice touch. And the fit of the stays is really, really nice as well. It's a really solid conical shape. I think Marie Antoinette would be jealous.
Definitely. Yeah, the fit of it is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. And the details. I mean, look at all those frills. And
there is a lot of work in it, for sure. And then the interpretation of the renewal theme here is as well stash busting. So it seems to be a reoccurring theme in a lot of the works. And I'm actually surprised because I don't have that many good fabrics in my stash. And this is quite impressive.
You must try harder.
Yeah, I have to rethink my fabric buying habits.
Oh yes, that is just darling, isn't it? Yes.
So I definitely love how this all comes together in this whole look. And I think there was a video as well. Yeah. I'm not sure if it will play, but there was a video of
and you can
the whole outfit comes together.
We love
Look at the background as well. It's so lovely.
Those happy flamingos.
Yeah.
and the little saucy wiggle brought me great joy as well. Yes, you can really see.
Catherine does burlesque, so you can tell she's got skill.
Oh,
Lady has skills. But yeah, you can absolutely see the fit of that. And how
that jump.
It was such fun.
So we should say when you enter, you can enter with photos, and you can also include a 60-second video. So some of the entrants took advantage of that.
See, it's spring. Spring has renewed the land.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So lovely. There you go.
That's such fun. Wonderful. Congratulations.
So that was third place apprentice, am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
And then we have second place, which is Bridget by Roseanne Hamilton. I love the I'm not even sure if it's embroidery. I don't know how to call it, but the pattern in front, it's just
The knot work is
amazing.
out of this world, isn't it?
Yes,
Absolutely. Yeah,
There you go.
amazing.
just such.
So
precision.
you can tell that there have been a lot of work that went into it.
Yeah.
And then Roseanne mentioned that because she lost weight, the fit of the corset maybe is not what she wanted it to be, but I think it's still a pretty impressive silhouette.
Yes, I think it's very good. It's funny, isn't it? We all know how we like corsets to fit our own bodies. And sometimes, you know, they can be a tiny bit loose on us and we'll know. But actually, they look great still. So.
Yes. Yeah, I think if I didn't read that and I didn't have a second look on the photographs, I wouldn't have noticed that anything's wrong. So I don't think it's that visible. I think this photograph especially, it shows off a really good silhouette and really good fit.
Yeah.
I think if you took a ruler and checked if the eyelets are parallel to each other, they're just so perfectly aligned.
Absolutely. And the on the very center front, it comes to a point. All of that binding has just been. It goes around the curves absolutely beautifully. It comes to really crisp points. The stitching is absolutely lovely. Like no shortcuts have been taken. It's been really carefully mitered so that you get that absolute symmetry, which is, it's hard to do. I'm really impressed.
Yes, definitely. Takes patience.
It really does. Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Congratulations to you. All right.
Yeah, so then we have first place, which is Shedding Snake by, oh, that's a Dutch name, is it? Jeske van der Meijs.
That has to be from Holland, a Dutch name.
Yeah, it sounds Dutch. So yeah, this is a really great personal interpretation of the renewal theme. There's a personal story attached to that, and at the same time we have the motive of a shedding snake. So that's also some type of renewal, obviously. And I think it's quite a moving story, actually. And the design is obviously great. I mean, it's not literally shedding skin, because that might not work that well. But you can, you know, once you get the title, you get that story, you get what's going on.
You absolutely do, don't you? And it's, I mean, it's very bold with the black and white, but I love that it's asymmetrical. It's got that real artistic flair going on there.
Yeah. And the fit is also amazing. And actually 75% of that corset is sewn by hand.
Wow.
So that's amazing. I mean, I can only imagine how her fingers must have hurt.
Beautiful clean finish inside, and interesting nice patterning as well.
Yes, and that was a self-drafted pattern,
which is again a kind of fantastic work at this stage. And so was she stash busting as well, Karolina?
Sorry?
Was she doing stash busting as well, I think, in using found fabric?
I didn't necessarily get that, so I may have missed that, but there was definitely the symbolic interpretation of the renewal theme.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Well done, Jeske. Congratulations to you. Right, on to the intermediate.
Okay, intermediate. I think that was the most difficult for me, if I remember correctly. Yes, I think it was, because all of these were so incredibly unusual and imaginative that it was just so difficult to pick, you know, which one goes before which, because all of these are so different and amazing at the same time. So in third place, we have The Phoenix by Elia Sibel. So we have a different interpretation of the renewal theme, which is again based on the animal kingdom, which in this case is a mythical phoenix. So I think this design is the one that would look best on the outside with the wind flowing as it does in the pictures. It's just gorgeous. Like, so many elements of it look great in movement. The feathers, you know, the headpiece, even the skirt. I really love the pleated silk chiffon inserts on the bust gussets. They look like they took a lot of work, and they're such a nice touch. They're such an inventive touch to the overall pattern of it. The feather decoration, obviously, and just the color palette. It looks like it's on fire now that I'm looking at the pictures. It's just such an inventive look. And the fit is obviously amazing as well. I mean, I think all of the finalists fits were, I don't think there is anything that I could complain about. So
yeah, the movement, and I love that the skirt is dip dyed as well, so you still get that transition of color and flames coming up through.
It's an incredibly dynamic look as well.
Yeah, lots and lots of fun things going on there. And yeah, and lovely hip buckets as well, which are always a nice tricky thing to show off your skills with.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful, congratulations. So second place.
Yeah, so second place is The Silver Lily by Kitty Mortensen. And I was a bit confused at first because the photos showed two outfits and I was like, oh, what's that? So then it turned out that it's one outfit that transforms into the other in a matter of seconds. And this is where I was really grateful for the video, because it doesn't fully show on the photographs. But basically it's a quick changing outfit. But it's amazing. It's such a stunning transformation from this look to the other. So these materials, these fabrics were upcycled as well. So there is renewal in that. But also it was a new technique for the contestant. So she's never tried the quick changing outfit before. See how she just did that? That's amazing.
I mean, I think we go back and see that again. I'm gonna wind that back and see that.
It's a wow, isn't it? Like, oh, that's pretty. That's a smart little suit. I like that. Yes, I'd wear that. And then you're like, oh, where did that come from?
Yes.
Fantastic. I love it.
Amazing.
And I love that it's all upcycled fabrics, bits and pieces that she's found and remade. Yeah, it just shows what you can do with things that you already have.
Yeah.
Combine them all in the right way. Even if you
and
don't.
Also, I'm obsessed with the transparent bit, or is it just a faux transparent bit, a mesh? Yeah.
The corsetry mesh is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really clever use of material.
Yeah. So again, amazing fit, as with all of these, and a great interpretation.
Lovely, lovely work, Kitty. Thank you. So, again, another drum roll.
Yes, there should be a person doing that.
Yeah.
So the first place goes to Catherine Lam for her kintsugi vase. I just thought it's such an inventive interpretation of the theme, and obviously the stitching quality, the silhouette, just technical aspects of it. I just loved the idea. Maybe it's not the biggest outfit, it's not really out there, but the thought that went behind it, the thought process. For those of you who didn't know, I didn't know that. I mean, I heard about it someday, but I forgot. So kintsugi is Japanese art of mending broken pottery with gold or expensive metals. So you can see the slashes here and all of the golden elements are an interpretation of that. So In that case, the model is the vase, and all those golden inserts are the kintsugi inserts in the vase. So I just found it, it's just a really inventive way to approach the renewal theme. And at the same time, it's technically and I don't know, I was just really impressed with it because it was something I've never seen before. And together with the story that went behind it, it's based on a 1902 pattern, which I've noticed at first, but then I thought, nah, maybe I'm just seeing things that are not there. But no, it's actually based on an Edwardian S-band pattern that is then elongated into a dress. So yeah, I just really loved the idea.
It's really innovative. I mean, and the pattern cutting is absolutely fantastic. It's so hard to make a really well-fitting corset dress. I mean, it
and
is
with those slashes as well.
The way it gets
and all that binding.
Yeah.
Or is it piping? It's piping, isn't it?
Yes, it's piping, Luca.
I think it is, yeah.
I fell in love with this dress straight away. I knew about the technique, the kintsugi technique. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, wow.
It's really thoughtful, isn't it? It's just, yeah, clever and beautifully executed.
And very elegant, if I must.
Very elegant, yeah.
Beautifully modeled, beautifully fitting, a very worthy winner of our intermediate category. Thank you. Right, now we are moving onwards and up. I can't believe that was the intermediate category. I mean, like, they were so good. You're like, is there anywhere to go?
Highest of the advanced.
Yeah, like how can this like kind of keep going upwards? But we are now on to the experienced category. So do you want to give us our third place in that, Karolina?
Yep. So third place is After Ragnarok by Julia Elstring. So here again we have a really nice interpretation of the renewal theme. Sorry. So we have the scrap fabrics that were used to make the corset, and it was basically used made using leftovers. So it's the literal interpretation, and then we have the symbolic interpretation. So we have the Ragnarok. The whole corset represents the world after it's ended. We have the dry leaves on the bottom of the corsets imprinted. But then the top of the corset, the lapels are the symbolic renewal of the world. So it's like the rebirth of nature, rebirth of the world. And it has those tiny, beautiful, glowing flowers or fruits. It's just so lovely, such a lovely touch. I think it's a very inventive shape. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. It's based on an S-shaped corset, same as the previous one, but it's modified obviously with all of these adjustments and lapels, and it's just a really inventive silhouette.
The texture of the embroidery,
yes,
on that huge, very it's very catwalk. It's very couture.
Yeah, it's very couture.
That little bit extra, and yeah, and then all this wonderful patchwork and layering. It's very detailed work. It's really
very textured as well.
Yeah, beautiful textural pieces. And again, although the corset looks very simple, it's got a lot going on in there, even though it's all in cream and just one layer. It's a lovely shape. It's got yeah, some wonderful things. Amazing. Well done to you. Second place.
In second place, we have Persephone by Lena Piprek. So here the interpretation of the renewal theme is the Persephone story. And it's made using mostly stash stuff. And it's really interesting how the story goes from the top of the dress to the very bottom. So at the top we have the flowers, Persephone is still happy, And then gradually it goes from flowers, it fades from flowers to pearls and beads when it starts getting more dark. And, you know, it goes deeper and deeper into the story, and it goes down and down with the outfit. So I think it's a really nice touch of, it's really a nice way of storytelling using a costume, I think, to go a particular direction, top to bottom. I think it's really a nice way to go around it. And obviously the fit, again, as I was telling, like as I was saying, all of the works are just, the fit is great. What can I say?
Yeah, the stitching is terrific as well. And
yes, it's a very smooth piece of work as well.
Incorporating that corsetry mesh in the front panel, which, you know,
yes,
can be tricky to work with as well. Yeah, beautiful shape. I mean, look at the fit of that on the model. As we know, it can be really hard to kind of fit around the bust and get everything smooth and working still. And it's absolutely gorgeous.
I personally love the fit around the hips on this
yes
dress,
Yeah,
because it's particularly round, smooth. It puts the waist in evidence. And I have to say, Persephone is one of my favorite myths since I was a child. So it was a very nice to.
it's very gothic, isn't it? The story of Persephone being dragged down by Hades and kind of allowed to go up. It's, yeah, it has that gothic romance, which I think.
Gothic romantic, yeah.
It has definitely romance and gothicism in oodles.
It's all about life and death, after all.
Is.
You know, it's got the two sides in one thing.
Definitely. All right, we start the drum roll again. For first in the experience.
So yeah. So in first place we have Creative Rebirth by Popia Bigno. I'm kind of guessing all these names at this point. Yes, so it's gorgeous. Here we have the butterfly as a form of renewal, but also it's a personal interpretation, because there is the story of a butterfly embroidery from contestants' more creative time in her life. So this is sort of her personal renewal into, you know, the art making world. So and also it's an old prom dress. I don't know if you've noticed, it's not actually a really nice vibrant silk as I thought. It's just an old eBay prom dress made into something beautiful, so much more beautiful than it was before. So the design is somewhere between the phoenix and the butterfly in this, and the pattern consisted of 30 pieces, I think. Really? It's just, I love the idea of incorporating a personal item, something that is meaningful to the artist, into the whole outfit. It's kind of making it into art, and, you know, going through all these struggles to make something beautiful out of it. It's a sort of a renewal in itself. So that's what I loved about this particular entry.
For me, I think it's the neckline. I mean, we've seen necklines called bird's wings. Similarly, Sparkle Wren, one of our famous corsetiers, has done some bird's wings. But using it to kind of enhance that butterfly shape, oh, it's just gorgeous, isn't it? It's perfect. And yeah, the silhouette is wonderful. The pattern cutting's really interesting. It's, yeah. It's got some wonderful textures and some wonderful things. So well done, Paix. I just feel if I say it with a flourish, you'll forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it. Oh, right. Well, we're into the last category. Oh, I'm sad to be coming to an end. All this excitement is kind of,
it's kind of like opening Christmas presents.
It is.
Once you open them all, they're not that exciting.
Oh, I think they're still exciting, but
yeah, if they're good.
So on to the advanced category.
Yes, which was also so difficult. I think I switched all of these entries a couple of times before I actually found out what order they're supposed to be in. So in third place, we have Lizard Person Realness by Lucy MK. So here we have a renewal of reptiles shedding skin put into an outfit, into a costume. So I think it's obviously an amazing idea, but it's also an amazing execution. Because if you look at the details of the corset, it actually does look like it's shedding skin. And at the same time, it's not grossing everyone out. So it's finding beauty in something that's supposed to be, you know, maybe not that beautiful. So I'm mostly impressed with how the texture is achieved here. Obviously, the fit, the shape is amazing as well, but the texture of it, it's just something I don't think I've ever seen before. And we also have to appreciate that this fabric was apparently the worst fabric to ever be used in corset making. So
I can believe that. My eyes were watering when I looked at this fabric. I was just thinking, if a designer came in and went, I just found the most brilliant fabric for you to make, I'd just be like, no.
Never.
But it is stunning, isn't it?
Absolutely stunning, yeah.
And the layering of the lace and the sparkle.
Yeah.
It just, as you say, it just gives that texture and an extra depth, which is what we're looking for at this level, is that taking it one step further and really kind of working not just with a fabulous fabric, but making it even more fabulous.
Enhancing the fabulousness.
Always. Congratulations, Lucy. Second place, Karolina.
Okay, second place, In Nature by Marloes Daswell. So here I was mostly impressed with the amazing jellyfish-like elements and obviously the incredible embroidery at the front, which is a huge piece, and there is just so much detail in it. It's just such a nice textured piece. At first I was really impressed with the floating elements because they really have something. They have this like sea-like element to it. They do look like some organic form of jellyfish or some remains of some, I don't know,
like
coral leaf. I don't know, but you can feel the sea in it. I think it's incredible to be able to achieve that with just using, you know, particular fabrics, and just the overall shape is obviously great. Yeah, I love the color palette as well. I don't think it's an obvious choice for something that's supposed to be sea life inspired.
I love all the different dyes and the different textures on those floaty bits. Yeah, they really do enhance it. And yeah, the kind of the sea washing in, washing out, taking everything away, making everything clean, and yeah, constant renewal of our coral reefs. Hopefully. So wonderful. Well done, Marloes.
I don't know why, but I keep imagining what this one would look like underwater. Obviously, I don't want to put it underwater, but I just think it would look pretty nice.
A lot of we just have
just floating around.
It needs some beautiful koi carp swimming past. Ooh, there's a photo shoot for you, Marloes.
Photo shoot idea.
No, do not put my embroidery in the water.
I think it was the whole embroidery piece was just stitched on the corset, so we can remove it before going into the water.
Right, our very, very final prize to award is the first prize for the advanced category.
Which goes to Tree of Life by Carly van Groningen. And I had so much trouble choosing between all these, but I decided on Carly's work because I just thought the fit is incredible. There is not a single wrinkle in there. There is not a single mistake. The detail that went into the front, how do you call it?
Celtic knotwork. Yeah.
Yes, it's just amazing. And also the thought that went into the changing seasons on the tree. It's just such a great idea, which is not, again, not super visible on the photographs, but if you watch the video, it shows that the elements, the pieces on the tree branches are actually changeable, and change into different eras. Sorry, not eras. See, my mind is in history again. Different.
The different seasons.
Seasons, yes, that's the word I was looking for.
So beautiful.
Yes, I just think it's a great piece of work.
Extraordinary, isn't it? Again, to have this fabulous sculptural collar, and it's, yeah, out of completely different, exciting new materials with a beautifully fitted and created, very classic corset dress.
And also the tree of life motif, which is apparently from Nordic mythology, is also included in the front panel, the gold panel, because there's a lot of Nordic motifs in that.
It's, yes.
Just the design, the shapes of it.
And I love the way that the tree roots carry on around the bottom of the skirt. Everything has been very, very carefully thought out on this. And yes, it is so smooth.
Yes, it's incredible.
Beautiful, beautiful work.
I just love the whole idea of it. It's like the piece is alive.
Yes.
I remember, and I remember in the comments she said that she didn't do the complete video. She wanted, because her mother, and she wanted the leaves to fall down. And I just thought,
yes.
Oh my God.
Such a pity.
No, it's like, it's really a wonderful piece of design. I mean, this is theater for me. It's not just a dress. It's a whole performance in a dress.
Yeah, it's taking it to a whole other level, isn't it? Of couture and performance art all in one piece.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you, our wonderful winner.
Congratulations.
I'm exhausted now.
Congratulations to all of our winners and all of our second and third places, and to everybody who entered. It's an extraordinary achievement to enter at all and to have the courage to put your work out into the world. So I hope that everybody watching is not only inspired in general, but inspired that you can, your work is important. You put your work out there.
Absolutely. And if you haven't had a chance to go and have a look at all the entries, they are still up online. So do go and have a little browse through them all. They are the most spectacularly creative and inspirational selection of garments all in one place. It's amazing.
Copy and paste the link in the comments on YouTube.
It makes me very happy. And save the date, watch this space. We shall be announcing the new theme for next year's competition within the next few weeks. Once we've buckled down and kind of done some serious thinking and taken a poll with our members, and wow. Carolina, thank you so much. I know how hard that was.
Thank you for letting me do that.
I hope it brought you joy.
Yes, I mean, just looking at the photos was enough, but
it's
taking the notes and analyzing what went into each outfit. And I think it was really useful to have the descriptions of each work by the artists, the contestants, because that really gave a completely different insight, and it made me look at things differently as well, to be able to know what story went into it, what backstory went into it, what personal struggles went into it, what was used, you know, as the fabric, as the material. So that was very eye-opening to me to be able to read about what went into each of the entry.
Because garments are personal, aren't they? I mean,
yes,
historical garments. I mean, one of the things you must kind of think about as kind of when you're talking about dress history is when things were made by hand, that's like it's a one-off. It's one person's choice. Why did they want this thing? What's special about it? Who made that bit? Why did they decide to do that? We learn so much about people, don't we, through the things that they have made.
Yeah, it was like reading people's diaries. A bit uncomfortable at times, but eye-opening.
But also really lovely that people are willing to share those details.
Yeah,
we appreciate it. Yeah, really special. Have our mentors got anything extra to say? Any kind of extra congratulations to add?
Well, I did already add my congratulations to Tree of Life, which was my absolute favorite piece. But just to add to what Karolina was just saying, this year was just felt different from any previous years. Not only because the quality of the work was much higher than any time before in all the categories, but because I think because we have pushed people to share the stories behind and they really took it seriously, it was really a different journey going through each outfit. So I think I just want to say thank you to everybody to just find the time not only to make the costume, but to tell us what was behind the costume, to present it. That really made a big difference for me. I was not just looking at clothes, but really trying to understand why and what and when. And as Karolina said, it made me look at things in a different way. So it was just a pleasure to be in the company of each one of the members who entered while reading their little bit of story.
Thank you, Luca. That's a lovely thing to say. Yes, it was. It was like they were sitting next to you, telling you their story.
Yeah, exactly.
Barbara, anything to add?
Well, Luca has said it all. Basically, I literally got lost in reading the stories and watching all the pictures for an entire day. And it was like fairy tale. And I got so emotional reading all the background behind each piece and learning what each person overcame in terms of obstacles and challenges. And yeah, every single one of you, be proud of yourself. It's amazing what you have achieved. It's incredible.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you. Loana, you must have been very happy at the smoothness and silhouette of some of those pieces.
I was. I mean, Barbara and Luca have said everything that I would say. I loved reading the stories, and I think we said this the other week when we had a call, but my favorite thing about all of the entries was how creative people were when they were utilizing things from their stash or making use of things they just had already, so they weren't going out and just buying all the things. They were looking at what they had and then being really inventive and creative and trying to minimize what they went out and bought. And I just loved, in particular, the entries that really utilized that side of the theme, because it just proves that you can make incredible, interesting, artistic creations and you don't need this massive budget to do it. Like, it's proof that like the only limitation is your imagination rather than what you have available to go and buy. And I just love how everyone's come together and shown the world what's possible with, you know, reusing things and recycling and upcycling and still creating amazing works of art. And I'm just so proud of everyone who entered and for putting themselves out there. Well done. It's amazing.
Thank you, Loana. It's so true. So true. Just the creativity has blown us away. So I thank Karolina. We've chatted to the mentors. Kathy, any final last words?
Oh, yes, this is our 10th competition. We've been doing this for 10 years, and I can't believe how much it's developed and how the level of work has developed. Because when we started out, the first year, we proposed having this competition and 3 brave people entered and they all got prizes. This year there were 47 incredible brave makers who were willing to put their stuff out into the world. And what always amazes me is that you would think if you were entering a competition and trying to win a prize, that you would play it safe and do the things that you really know you can do well, but they don't. Over and over again, when we see the descriptions, people are like, yeah, I thought I'd try these 6 new techniques on this project. And they just really always push the boat out and try something completely outside their comfort zone. So I love the way that people take risks and risk creatively and are willing to try things. That's my favorite thing to see.
That's what it's all about as an artist.
Say that again?
That's definitely what it's about as an artist, taking that risk and pushing yourself
forward. Yeah. Well, I think that Loana might have some questions for us that she's been saving up from
You had to add some questions from the chat?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. So the main question that heaps of people were asking was, when will the new theme be announced and where? Everyone wants to know. So many people were getting excited and saying they want to enter next year. So could you let everyone know what the plan is for the next year's competition?
Okay. So either of us can answer this.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to make a short list of the ideas and themes that have been given us by members and kind of past themes that nearly got picked but didn't quite get picked, that people are like, oh, I'd really like to revisit that one now. So I'm going to make a short list and we're going to put it in the Stitchlings group. That's our Foundations Revealed membership group for everyone to vote upon. And hopefully I should be doing that within the next 2 weeks, because I don't have anything else to do. So I shall be preparing that and putting that up as a poll. And once everyone has voted, we will be able to put the chosen piece up on the Facebook, not the Facebook, it will go in the Facebook page, but it will also go onto the website. So I think safely we can say, give us 3 weeks, and right, it will be up on the website, ready for you to get stuck in.
It's also,
I know you're all bored and have nothing else to do.
Yeah. So it's also worth saying that the place we get the suggestions for themes is from the people who enter, because on the entry form there is a field. I'll stop sharing that for a minute. On the entry form there is a field saying any suggestions for themes for future years. So when you enter, you get to be part of that process. So we're Jem is collating all of those ideas, plus ideas that didn't make it in the past, as she said. And when we do announce it, if you go to the Foundations Revealed site, foundationsrevealed.com, there is always here competition, and you can always click on competition or competition rules, and there's a page there that gives you all the details of what this year's theme is. We usually do, Jem has started doing mood boards every year. So this, for example, was our mood board on Pinterest this year, to just start getting your ideas going when it loads.
And it's just starting points for you to kind of be inspired by, get ideas, and run with it. Really?
Yeah.
Have fun.
Okay. And then there will be also on that page, we list the prizes, a few encouraging little comments from previous winners, and the complete guide and official rules. And that's an important document because it'll tell you all the ins and outs of how to enter, what skill category you should belong in, and all of those details, and all the dates, the important dates, the deadlines, and all of that. So all of the details are on that page. And also we have little hashtags. And when you go and look at throughout the year, you can search those hashtags and see people post their progress photos throughout the year on what they're working on. So that's always exciting to follow through the year.
So I shall be looking through all of those suggestions and collating them into kind of one or into sort of 3 or 4 kind of bigger ideas for our membership to vote on.
Yes, so all the members get to vote for the final theme. Yeah.
Yeah, so once they've been voted, then they go on the website.
Okay.
So I hope that answers that. Were there any more questions, Luana?
Just a couple, because most of the questions being asked were the same question, just asked by many people. One thing this is more of a encouraging comment. Many of the people who were commenting and saying that they really wanted to enter, or that they're just starting out, or they've never made a course and they want to try. And then they were all really gearing to go. And then as we kept announcing the winners and the categories kept getting more and more advanced, and the work that we were showing with the entries was getting, I guess, better and better, the comments started getting a little bit intimidated, like, oh my gosh, I could never do this, like, no way. And I just wanted to say to everyone who is a beginner or who's never made anything before, that when you enter this competition, you're not competing against the people who've been sewing for 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. You're competing against other people who are at the same level as you. So if you've never made a corset before, then you're going to compete against other people who have never made a corset before. So yes, it's a competition, but it's more about pushing yourself to try something new. But don't be afraid to enter because you think you're going to be competing against, the professionals who've been doing it forever. You're not. That's not how it works. There's 5 different category levels so that everyone's always competing against people at the same skill level. And if you don't know what skill level you are, then we've got descriptions, but we also help you work that out as well. I think, Kathy, you've said before that many people over the years have entered, but they're just too modest, or they don't realize how good they are. So sometimes we have to shuffle entries around. Is that right?
Yes. Usually I end up bumping people up a category because they're too modest.
Yeah. But don't be afraid to give it a go. And by the time we announce the new theme, there'll be nearly an entire year to work on your entry. And if you work on just a little bit each week, then you'll be done before you know it. The last thing that came up was there were a few comments about people wanting to know when they could join again.
I'll field that one. Over to you, Kathy.
Thank you very much, Gemma. Yes, we are. It's true, you don't have to be a member to enter, but it helps enormously because obviously you're part of a community where many people are entering, many people are working on their entries, everybody's working together, encouraging each other and keeping everybody going. And you've got to help when you're a member of having Barbara and Luca and Luana there in the group to help you and, take a look at what you're doing and say, maybe you want to tweak a bit here. Also, most people in the past have entered corsets because we've been very corset focused, and that tends to be the garment that is most challenging for most people. So it's something that a lot of people are fascinated by, but it doesn't have to be a corset. It can be any kind of garment or outfit you want. So as for opening again, we did have a plan to have another free, you know how we usually open enrolment by having a free workshop first? And in the past it's been on corset making. There's like a 3-part workshop where we have Luca and Luana and Barbara each teach a little bit. And then at the end of that, we say, well, if that was, we do something that's useful for everybody and that everybody can access because it's free. So everybody gets something cool. And at the end, we say, if you're up for it, if it's the right time for you, now you can join. And we open for about a week for an enrollment period. So we have been planning and telling people that we were going to open on April the 4th, which means that the workshop, the free workshop, would start next week. That has perhaps been pushed back a little bit by all of the craziness going on in the world right now. And I have been asking myself a little bit, is it really the right time to be saying, hey, come and buy something? You know, when something unpleasant is going on in the world, it just, is this really an appropriate time to do that? But we have been having, I've started getting a lot of messages and emails saying, when are you opening again? When can I join? Because I've got lots of time now and now I can join. Now I can use all of these resources. I want to learn. I want to use this time when I'm stuck at home to skill up. I want to learn this stuff now. All of that stuff I've been putting off to do one day. This is that day. We've got that time now. So I think we are still going to go ahead and there is going to be an enrollment period very soon. I don't know be April the 4th exactly, because we got a bit behind with all the craziness going on. So it may be a tiny bit later, but only like, you know, a week, 2 weeks maybe. It all depends on how fast we can edit those videos. That free video workshop, we're creating that right now. And basically, this all depends on how fast I can write the emails and how fast Bernadette can edit the videos for us. So that's all dependent on that right now. But yes, there will be, within the very near future, you will hear about that. And you need to be on our mailing list to hear about it directly. But I will, if you're following me on YouTube, you'll hear about it there as well. I'll remind everybody.
How do people join the mailing list, Kathy? Is that on the website?
The best place, the easiest place to go now, since you're all on YouTube right now, is that in the description of all of my videos, there is a link to the mailing list. I don't know whether it will automatically have come up on this one. I do have all my videos programmed so that automatically a description comes up with the stuff that's always in my description. I don't think this one is coming up with a description right now. If you go to one of my other videos and you know, drop down the description, there's always a link in there. And then if you're on the mailing list, you will be the first to hear when we start that workshop. So everybody will get a free workshop, whether you're a member or not, or whether you want to join or not. That's free. It's a 4 video series, and you'll have an opportunity to join at the end of that. And usually the workshop has been about corset making. This year it's not. We've got something brand new. We're going to tackle sleeves. Everybody who sews finds sleeves difficult. So part 1 of that sleeve workshop will be, Luana will be looking at adjusting patterns and messing with patterns and making them fit better. Then Barbara in part 2 talks about tailoring and how to actually set the sleeve in. And then in part 3, Luca will talk about Victorian sleeves and how they really worked back in the day. So that should give you lots to work with and lots to get your teeth stuck into while we're all on quarantine.
While we're all making 18th century outfits out of toilet paper.
Toilet paper, exactly.
As demonstrated by Karolina. I'm sorry, you have started something now.
People hoarding toilet paper will not be happy about that.
Oh.
That we're going to buy it all out now to make dresses out of it.
We can make dresses out of newspaper as well. I mean,
yeah.
It's hard to manage your workload.
Sorry.
What did you say, Luca?
No, I didn't say anything.
No, I said so. That was
Oh,
me trying to
you
click
can.
on one of my other videos so I could copy and paste the mailing list link, but it just started playing the video and didn't give me the description. So
You have a ghost
I will do
in
that
your
later.
machine.
But yes, it's not in the description of this video, but if you go to one of the others.
All right.
All right.
Sadly, I think we are done for the evening.
I think that's it. Yes.
We're going to say farewell and thank you to all our wonderful Foundations Revealed and Your Wardrobe Unlocked mentors. Thank you to Barbara, Loana, and of course, Luca. Thank you to our amazing guest judge, our mean mom, Karolina. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been a real pleasure having you here.
It was great. Thank you, guys.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. And good night from Kathy and me. We'll see
Thank you,
you
Gemma.
all
Thank you for
soon.
hosting. And we will see you again. I will be back here tomorrow night. So yeah, in fact, we should mention this. I will be back here tomorrow night, my usual time, 6 p.m. London, which will be 2 p.m. Eastern and 11 a.m. Pacific. And I will be live for a while and just hanging out and seeing how we all are and checking in and just being together, you know, at this weird old time. And straight after me, then Karolina will be going live. So your Friday night, you may not be able to go out, but you
It's
can stay
sorted.
in with us. You can stay in with me and Karolina. Karolina is having a costume tea party. So you can wear your costumes that you were going to wear at all these events that have been cancelled. I think that's a fantastic idea. And bring tea and biscuits and cake. I think that's an excellent idea. So we'll see you tomorrow night, Karolina.
See you tomorrow. It's a tight schedule, but at least it's a night sorted, so.
That's it. So, okay. So good night, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Right.
Good night.
Night.
Thanks for tuning in.